Muhammad Ali's team sent touching gift to Israel Adesanya. 2 days until the start of the long-awaited Qatar 2022 World Cup, Portugal thrashed Nigeria ahead of World Cup encounter. Victor Osimhen bags award at the Globe Soccer Award. Sadio Mane is out of the World Cup as injury concerns keep growing. We'll be giving you results of matches that were played on the international scene yesterday, and we'll be giving you fixtures that are to come your way this sporting Friday morning. You certainly know who's on the wheel of steel this morning. It is Mona who will be piloting this plane, moving 360 degrees around the world of sports and then about this sporting. The morning promises to be interesting because we have a lot of talking points this morning, especially from the game between Portugal and Nigeria that was played at the Estadio José Alvalade in Portugal yesterday. Quickly, we begin the show this morning from the Formula One racing track. Do not forget the last game of the season. The last race of the season is about to get underway today. The practice sessions are going to begin. The practice session will begin for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the last one for the racing year 2022. Remember, the practice race is going to begin today. We switch over from that and we move over to the sport of boxing. We will say it is boxing. Quickly moving over from our next story this morning. Muhammad Ali's team have sent a touching gift to Israel Adesanya after he lost his UFC title to Alex Pereira. Remember that encounter between Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira, which just went down this weekend. It went down this past week and we saw Israel Adesanya lose his welterweight title. Remember that he lost by technical knockout. This morning I am to tell you that Muhammad Ali's team have sent an emotional letter to Israel Adesanya, and it reads, and I quote, "It is a good feeling to lose. The people who follow you are going to lose too. You got to set a good example of how to lose. This way they can see how I lose. It will be old news a week from now. Plane crashes, a president gets assassinated, a civil rights leader assassinated. People forget the news. In 2 weeks, it all becomes old news." These were the words of Muhammad Ali when he was at a hospital after he lost to Joe Frazier, which was the fight of the century. Now, the surprising thing about this fight is that Muhammad Ali lost to Joe Frazier at Madison Square Garden. And the fight between Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira was at Madison Square Garden. Eventually, after that loss that Muhammad Ali had against Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali went on to reclaim his title 2 more times, which was the greatest gift that this late champions team could give Israel Adesanya. After receiving that gesture, Israel Adesanya went to his Instagram handle and he definitely said that the past, certainly the past, can become a great teacher. He was really, really grateful to Muhammad Ali's team for sending him such a gift, and he has vowed to make sure he gets back his welterweight division belt. Very big champions response from Israel Adesanya. Once again, here is the statement. It is a good feeling to lose. The people who follow you are going to lose too. You got to set a good example of how to lose. This way, they can see that this is how I certainly lose. It will be old news in a week from now. Plane crashes, a president gets assassinated, a civil rights leader gets assassinated. People will forget the news. In 2 weeks, it will certainly become old news. Those were the words of Muhammad Ali when he was on the hospital bed after the alleged fight of the century with Joe Frazier, where he lost that encounter to Joe Frazier in the year 1971. And do not forget that after that fight, Muhammad Ali went on to reclaim his title 2 times, two solid times. So we shall see how Israel Adesanya will be able to make sure he claims a champion response in this very world. Because I remember he said that he is going to have a rematch against Alex Pereira. And we hope that when he gets that rematch, he will put up a Muhammad Ali stunt. Muhammad Ali got his rematch against Frazier in 1974, and he made sure he got his belt back after 12 rounds of fight, and he won via unanimous decision. So Israel Adesanya is all pumped up to see that when he gets this rematch against Alex Pereira, he will get his belt back. Moving over from that story this morning, I still talk about the sport of boxing, where I'll be telling you that Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia, that match has officially been approved. The Boxing Council have already approved this encounter, and it is going to happen in April 2023. No date, no venue has been fixed, but it is going to be in April, and it will happen in Las Vegas. So that's the latest update coming out from that encounter. Both men wanted this fight, and certainly they will have the fight. Gervonta Davis will take on Ryan Garcia in the boxing world. Switching over from that story this morning, we switch over to tennis. I tell you what is currently happening at the ATP the ATP finals. Already eliminated, Rafael Nadal was able to defeat Casper Ruud 7-5, 7-5. Taylor Harry Fritz defeated Felix Auger-Aliassime 6-7, 7-6, 6-2. Today we shall be seeing Daniel Medvedev take on Novak Djokovic in their own game today. Stefanos Tsitsipas will take on Andrei Rublev. Moving over from that story this morning, we switch over to the sport of basketball this morning. How is it all shaping up in the sport of basketball this morning? The Kings defeated San Antonio Spurs 130 points to 112 points. Trailblazers lost to Brooklyn Nets by 2 points margin. Brooklyn Nets won that encounter 109 points to 107 points. The Clippers defeated Pistons 96 points to 91 points. So that is how it ended in the sport of basketball in the early hours of this morning. Quickly, we'll switch over to the continent of Africa. What is happening on our African continent this morning? Ghana played a friendly encounter against World Compound Switzerland. It was Ghana versus Switzerland in their own friendly encounter representing Africa. We were able to see Ghana make sure that they defeated Switzerland 2-0. Still on international friendlies on the African continent that were played yesterday. Our very own dear country, Nigeria, traveled over to the Estadio Jose Alvalade Stadium in Lisbon, Portugal, to take on Portugal in their friendly encounter. And it was a very, very devastating one for Nigeria. Here is how Nigeria lined up in that encounter yesterday. We were able to see Francis Uzoho in goal for Nigeria. Williams Ekong was the skipper of the day. He was partnered in defense by Kelvin Akpoguma. Calvin Bassey played as the left back for Nigeria, and we were able to see Bright Osayi Samuel play on the right-hand side of the defense. In midfield, Wilfred Ndidi started. Alexi Wobi was in midfield. Ademola Lookman started on the right side of the midfield. Moses Simon started on the left-hand side of the midfield. Joe Aribo playing the 10. He was the main attacking midfielder in midfield. And Terry Murphy led the attack. Against the Portuguese team that started, Rui Patricio in goal, Diogo Dalot on the right-hand side of defense, Ruben Dias and Andre Silva. Antonio Silva partnered Ruben Dias and centre back. Antonio Silva is a 19-year-old and he made his debut for Portugal yesterday. Nuno Mendes started on the left-hand side of the defense. William Carvalho, Bruno Fernandes, and Otavio played in midfield for Portugal. Bernardo Silva was the man to lead the attacking side of the midfield. Andre Silva and João Felix led the attack in absence of Cristiano Ronaldo. And it was a shambolic and poor display from Super Eagles in the first half of that encounter. I was watching the first half. I was watching this game and I was so pissed off at what our team were playing yesterday. In the first half, Portugal were playing Nigeria like as if they were playing Georgia or North Macedonia. We were not able to have a string of passes. We were not able to have possession. The team was a total write-off in the first half. Portugal, they were able to penetrate into our defense with ease. Wilfred Ndidi was not in that game yesterday. I still keep questioning why we keep starting William Troost-Ekong in defense. It was a very poor display from Super Eagles. It was only Bright Osayi Samuel and Calvin Bassey that were the good take-on points from the very own Team Nigeria in first half. The midfield was in shambles. It was easy for João Felix to penetrate our midfield. It was easy for Bernardo Silva, easy for Bruno Fernandes. It only took 9 minutes for Bruno Fernandes to find the back of the net against Nigeria. 9 minutes. The second goal came in the 35th minute when Bright Osayi Samuel committed a handball in the penalty box, and it was a penalty to Portugal. And Bruno Fernandes converted upon the penalty spot with ease. There was no sense of urgency in the Super Eagles team. A very poor first half display. It ended 2-0 in first half. At the restart of the game from second half, we were able to see a brighter Super Eagles team. After Jose Peseiro was able to make a string of changes, he substituted Ademola Lookman to bring in Samuel Chukwueze. Wilfred Ndidi left. Franco Onyeka stepped up in midfield. Joe Aribo was also asked to leave the game. Etebo entered the game as well. To replace Joe Aribo, Terry Murphy left and Paul Onacho entered the team. And Moses Simon left for Emmanuel Dennis. At least those substitutions made the team at least brighter enough. Iwobi was beginning to play excellently well, the way he normally plays in Everton. He was able to bring in that display to the Super Eagles in second half. It was a very poor first half display. Eventually, we were rewarded with a penalty kick, and it was the same Bright Osayi Samuel who committed the handball for Portugal's penalty. He was committed in the box by Diogo Dalot, and the penalty was handed to Nigeria. Emmanuel Dennis stepped up on the penalty spot, and he casually played that penalty to the right-hand side of Rui Patricio's goal. Rui Patricio added a fingertip save to it and hit the bar, and the ball was out. Immediately we missed that penalty kick. Portugal on the other side scored their own goal. And it was Goncalo Ramos. Goncalo Ramos was the person who got the third goal for Portugal after Nigeria missed a penalty kick. João Mario rounded up the scoring in the 84th minute to complete the rout as they defeated Nigeria 4-0 to be able to see that they will head to Qatar in high spirits. The bad thing about this is they penetrated our defense so easily. There was no sense of urgency, no sense of coordination, and a poor display from the team. The good thing about the encounter yesterday is at least we were able to see a very, very good cover for Ola Aina at right back. Bright Osayi Samuel played an excellent game yesterday. Calvin Bassey also excellent. Terry Murphy was not it at all. Paul Onachu seemingly was kind of far better off than Terry Murphy, who actually started the game. In the first half, Ademola Lookman was out of the game because his side of the field was not used in attack. Moses Simon was always the focal point, which was very bad. It also came to my notice that left for me, Moses Simon is an aimless attacker. In my own words, because Moses Simon was playing aimlessly yesterday. You can't be a winger not this was allegedly the same reason why Xavi Hernandez was not able to sign back Adama Traore despite his long spell with Barcelona when they were resurging under Xavi Hernandez. You can't be a fast winger and be aimless and put up aimless crosses into the box. So I feel Jose Peseiro needs to make sure he works on Moses Simon excellently well so that he will be a deadly, very, very deadly attacker. Because Moses Simon was not just it yesterday. Still talking about attackers yesterday, it seems like it is only Victor Osimhen that can solve our striking issues in our country, Nigeria. Because it was a poor display from Terry Murphy. Paul Onacho tried to get into the game, but he was not just in it. The few minutes he was given, he did excellently well. Joe Aribo is still sluggish, which is a very, very, very sad one for a midfielder, most especially an attacking, creative-minded midfielder. You can't be a dull midfielder if you do not. You can't tell me that you want to be a midfielder and you don't have the flair and you are also dull. It is a very, very sad one. It was a very poor display from Joe Aribo, despite him being called happy feet and everything. But it was not the Joe Aribo that I expected to see yesterday that played on that field. Iwobi was impressive. Iwobi commanded the midfield very well, despite not starting the game excellently well. But he was able to command the midfield very well. Wilfred Ndidi was not at his best at all. Falco Nika entered the game. He stepped up in the game. Etebo entered the game as well. Made sure he stepped up in the game. Then as for our centre-back pairings, we need to work on them. We really, really need to work on our centre-back pairings. If I were Jose Peseiro, I feel the only option Nigeria currently needs at this point is Calvin Bassey is excellent as a left back. He knows how to put up crosses in the box. He knows how to make those dummy runs that a number 3 or number 2 should be making into the box. But I think the only option we have right now is play Calvin Bassey as a centre back. Zaidu Sanusi should assume the number 3 position. When Sanusi comes back from injury, he should self-acclaim that number 3 spot and work on him to know how to put up crosses into the box. Because that is the one reason why an attacker would love you as a fullback. For you to put up crosses into the box. So those are the positives heading into the game and the negatives as well heading from that game between Nigeria and Portugal. So all we have to do now is over to the World Cup. The last round of international friendlies will be played today, and everybody is going to be in Qatar. Currently, Argentina touched down in Qatar yesterday, and it was all smiles from Lionel Messi and his teammates. Switching over to the European scene this morning, let us talk about how it is all happening ahead of the FIFA World Cup. Sadio Mane has been ruled out of the World Cup. He will have to undergo surgery on his knee. So there is no Sadio Mane for Senegal at this World Cup. Very, very sad development coming from the Senegalese camp. Still talking about the FIFA World Cup, Argentina. Thiago Almada has already been called up to the Argentine squad as he is a replacement for Tucu Correa, who was injured in Argentina's warm-up sessions ahead of their World Cup opener. Angel Correa also has been called up to the Argentine team as he was able to replace Nico Gonzalez. As I said earlier on, Bayern announced that Sadio Mane underwent surgery. He underwent a successful surgery in the evening where a ruptured tendon was reattached to the head of his right fibula. So Mane will miss the World Cup for Senegal. Still on the Argentine national squad, Joaquin Correa is also going to miss the World Cup for Argentina as well. Moving over from that story this morning, we switch over to how it all happened at the Globe Soccer Awards yesterday. At the Globe Soccer Awards yesterday, it was a good thing as Victor Osimhen was able to win, and he emerged as the Emerging Player of the Year for 2022. Victor Osimhen snatched an award as the Emerging Player of the Year award. He snatched that award from Federico Valverde. Karim Benzema won the Men's Player of the Year. Alex Putellas won the Women's Player of the Year award at the Globe Soccer Awards. Carlo Ancelotti won the Best Coach of the Year award, and Florentino Perez was awarded as the Best President. Jose Angel Sanchez, who is the Los Blancos Director General, he was named as the Best CEO.